Hey everybody, it's Moonbo here, and welcome back to more Endless Scrap Mechanic. In today's episode of Scrap Mechanic Creations, I've got some more Simpsons builds here, so in case you guys did miss it, the first part of the Simpsons builds, I had the Simpsons house. I spent a ridiculous amount of time building that thing, so if you do want to get caught up on the Simpsons builds, you should definitely check out that house. It is full of detail. But in today's video, we are going to be checking out the Simpsons car over there. I also have this really cool looking KwikEmart. So of course the KwikEmart is the staple corner store in the Simpsons universe. It is of course owned by Apu Nahasapina-Petalon. So he owns this place, of course. He is a very familiar character in the show. So I'm really excited to check this out and maybe discuss a little bit more about the future of the Simpsons builds in Scrap Mechanic. So let's check out the KwikEmart. Alright, so here we are in front of this KwikEmart. As you can see, I have the Simpsons car parked right in front of it. Now, we are going to check out this car after we check out the KwikEmart, of course. So let's get a little view of the front here. As you can see, I tried to add as much detail as I could. I had a lot of fun making that sign, actually, and it uses the Polygon mod pack there, so very useful mod. As you can see, there's some graffiti on the side and stuff, and these are pretty neat, actually. Using the polygons, I made some pretty nifty-looking cardboard boxes here that are kind of stashed away on the side. It also has a dumpster right here. As you can see, you can walk inside and get in there if you needed to, and even some payphones. Now, these things are a rarity, but there are some payphones still on the KwikEmart, and there's a little phone book hanging off the side there with some wiring going up into the roof. And of course, you know the KwikEmart, it sells Duff for $12.95. Look, Apu even has a bike rack here, that's very useful. And a jackpot sign, and these I guess are supposed to be like milk crates or something that are stacked out in front. So we can very easily go inside. I have a couple sensors right there on the roof that we can actually just walk right underneath, and it will open up some sliding doors for us. So now we are inside the KwikEmart. So I'm just gonna kind of back up into the corner here a little bit so you can see it all. Now, I'm gonna mention, I looked up as much as I could about the KwikEmart and like the layout of it and stuff like that, and I'm not gonna lie, but there were so many discrepancies depending on the episode and the shot and which way the camera was facing. It would actually show a different representation of where all the shelves are as well as where all the counters are. So it was really confusing trying to replicate the design. So ultimately, what I decided to go with was the security footage. So as you can see, I have a security camera up there that is watching right down here, and that's actually, it's like the security footage of when a fake Krusty the Clown was robbing the KwikEmart, and the reason why he was not actually Krusty was because Homer stepped on his foot and it freaked him out. So anyway, that is kind of like what I was going for in the design here. So as you can see, guys, behind the counter, I've got a squishy machine, which is the standard Simpsons slushy. So you can see I have the spinning cup on the top there. There's even like a weird microwave here. Now this is where things kind of got confusing, was this area here, because sometimes there would be shelves here and sometimes there wouldn't. So I decided to go with the cupboards and stuff in the corner using the kitchen furniture mod pack. And there's like the ice cream freezer right there. So of course, Apu definitely has a back room here. And I guess what you would find in here are some illegal fireworks, because there is an episode where Homer is going to celebrate the 4th of July at the beach, and they needed some hefty power. So it's pretty cool. I tried to add a whole bunch of little knickknacks on all sorts of the shelves here, so you can see we have the aisles. There's a whole bunch of very random and ambiguous items that can't really tell what they are, but definitely looks cool. It fills the place up. And this here is actually supposed to be like a chip counter, because this is where the chips were located in that shot of the security footage. And of course, in the back here, we have the freezers. Now, as you can see, look at that, there's something very random in this freezer right here. So this is actually Jasper Beardley. Now, he's one of my favorite characters. He's pretty well known and very quotable from the show. But there's an episode where he gets frozen in the freezer and it becomes a huge spectacle, so I decided to pay homage to that by popping him inside one of these freezer doors here. And now it's really cool because I ended up painting all of these contents here inside the freezers very icy colors, like the blues and the very light blues and some of the light yellows even, because that's kind of like what the art style was in the show as well. They would just kind of really blue everything out, so it really does kind of give you that impression that things are inside of a freezer. So overall, I'm really happy with the way that this turned out. I even have, like, this is the magazine shelf right here, so pretty cool stuff, loads of detail. A funny thing actually that I want to mention is I couldn't get a shot of the show where this entire poster was visible. The only thing I could ever see was something like this right here that you can see now. So all it says is own mess. So I just kind of assumed it said clean own mess. So if you make a mess over there using the microwaves and stuff like that, you would probably clean it up after yourself. So it's really nifty. I'm really digging these Simpsons builds, guys. So of course, if you do have any more suggestions for the Simpsons world and like making these kind of Simpsons builds, then make sure you put them down in the comments. And if you see a suggestion that you already agree with, then hit the like button on it so that way I know which one is going to be at the top and which Simpsons build to do next. Alright, so now let's hop into this Simpsons car right here. So this is pretty nifty, actually. You can see it's pretty well detailed. It's a very unique car. I'm not actually 100% sure as to which kind of car it is, but it has some interesting shapes to it. So the way you get in is actually just hop on the hood, and there's a modded seat right there, as you can see, so we can kind of just back up a little bit from the KwikEmart. So I'm really happy with the way the car turned out as far as the size goes, because I'm so used to making very big cars, but this is actually a very happy middle ground for like the size of a car. So as you can see though, very maneuverable, it's extremely easy to drive. It has a really tight wheelbase as well, so that way you can see I can perform some very easy turning and parking like this. So another funny thing about the Simpsons car is actually when you get out, you actually just get out into the seat. So you can see here, I'm sitting there, I pop out of the seat, and now I'm kind of stuck in the car. So I ended up actually putting some doors here. Now, of course, I'm going to have some issues. It's going to get stuck when normally it wouldn't, but there you go. We can actually just shut that again. So that's kind of annoying with the world still, but nonetheless, really nifty Simpsons car. I'm so happy with the way that one turned out. And I want to mention actually that it does have the signature crumple here. Let me try and, can I, jump up? There we go. I have the signature crumpled up piece of the car there. I wanted to put a zigzag into the antenna and put a ball on the top of it, but I don't really have the capability of doing that with something nice and thin like that anyway. So pretty cool. Now, before I do leave you guys, I want to show you this one last thing that I ended up making, and this is like the Simpsons Intro thing, and this is what I'm going to use now. So when there's a new episode of a Scrap Mechanic Simpsons build, I'm going to start it off with this thing right here. So let's just hop inside. Now this is what you guys saw at the beginning. If we just kind of line it all up and then press the 1 key, you can see the clouds open up, and we are presented with the Simpsons there. So pretty cool stuff. Now if we press it again, of course, it is going to reverse all of that and put the clouds back in front and push us away. So what is happening is actually just 3 sets of pistons. So you can see when I press the 1 key, the clouds open up from those pistons, and then there's another piston on the ground that just kind of slowly brings you in, and it really makes for that kind of entering into the clouds effect. So let's see that just one more time. Pretty cool. Kind of simple in design, but at the end of the day, guys, it's really effective, and I'm really happy with the way that turned out, actually. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Scrap Mechanic Creations. I sure hope you enjoyed the build and are enjoying the Simpsons world stuff. So of course, again, make sure you check out the first part, guys, which is the Simpsons house. I spent at least like 15 hours on it, and I think you'd probably enjoy the level of detail that I'm kind of putting into these Simpsons builds. So of course, thanks for tuning in to Endless Scrap Mechanic. And if you want to see some more Scrap Mechanic, then make sure you hit that like button. It'll let me know that you're ready for it. And if you want to sign up for it, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and maybe even turn on notifications so you can get more cool Scrap Mechanic stuff coming from me. So thanks for tuning in, everybody, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. So bye for now.